Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I am going to talk to you, well actually the players, the top 10 ways how you can make your basketball coach extremely upset with you. So hello basketball coaches and basketball players. On this channel, if you're new, I usually show you basketball plays, drills, and skills. However, there's other times like today, I'm going to talk to you about some of the things. Well, we're just going to have a conversation overall. So basically, these are my top 10 pet peeves that basketball players do when I'm coaching. So let's just get down to it. Turning over the basketball. This is when you pass the ball to the other team, running out of bounds, traveling, something like that. These are usually very bad things to do because the other team gets the ball. That's when the other team has an extra way to score or an extra time to score. So you generally don't want to do that, and that is number one. The number one reason why you will get pulled off the basketball court from your coach is when you are turning over the basketball. So don't do that too much. Another thing that gives me or gets me very, very mad, and that is when players are on offense and they're not running or moving on the basketball court. That means either running a basketball play or just sitting in the corner saying, I'm open, but yet you're not. So make sure to move, set screens, run the plays. That way you will get more playing time. The third thing that makes coaches really mad, and that is not passing a basketball. When you're going one-on-one, back to back to back, it's not fun for anybody else in the court except for yourself. So don't do it. Plus, coaches generally don't like it because that leads to turnovers. That leads the other team to say, well, if you're just going to go one-on-one, let's stick 2 or 3 players on you because you're not passing and you're going to turn over the ball. And going back to, well, reason number one, coaches get mad. Well, guess what? You're turning over the ball. That means that the coach is extremely not happy with you. So make sure to pass and run those plays. Another reason why your coach will not be happy with you is if you're taking bad shots. And what I mean by that is, some players are really good, like Miles from the Toronto Raptors, who are really good at shooting the basketball with a player in his face. But bad shots are not always shots where you're covered. Sometimes a bad shot is if you're coming down on a fast break, one-on-none, and you shoot a three-point shot instead of going in for a layup when you don't need a three-point shot. Or when you're just setting up the offense and everyone else is running a play and you just say, screw it, we're 3 seconds into the shot clock, I'm going to jack up a three-point shot. That's a bad shot, normally. If you get it in, everything's forgiven. But if you miss, the coach is going to be mad. The one thing where I benched a player for pretty well a whole season, and that is because he did not come to practice. That is not a good thing to do. If you're not coming to practice, you're not going to be playing. It's not like Allen Iverson where he goes, practice? I don't need practice. You're going to need practice. That same player who I was benching 99% of the season, he also, when he did come to practice, he didn't try. When we were running suicides, he walked. When we were running a play, he walked. He walked the whole time. Don't walk in practice. Don't walk on the basketball court unless you know you can. But generally, you want to be jogging, running, or sprinting. You want to show that you're giving 100%, not 1%. Oh, and by the way, any player who stands and breathes is giving 1%. It's everything else you're doing. Now, one thing where as a player, I got really mad. This never happened as far as I know as a coach, but as a player, I seen a player do this and I chucked the basketball at his head. Basically, you don't tell the other team your basketball plays. You don't say, hey, we're going to be running a set play. going along the baseline. He's going to pop out after a double screen. I'm going to pass him the ball, and he's going to jack up a three-point shot. You don't do that. Don't tell the other team your plays. Another one is drawing bad fouls. Don't be going out there and just saying, oh, look, their player is driving towards the net. Let's take off his face. You don't want to always do that. There are times for fouls. There's also not times for fouls. If your player is driving to the rim and you foul him every time he's driving to the rim, that's generally a bad foul. Don't do those. They're bad. Another thing that will get your coach extremely mad is if you're yelling at the referee in every single game. If you're saying to the ref, that wasn't a foul, you're effing blind, you're going to get teed up. And when you get teed up, the coach gets mad. The only time I allow my players to get a technical foul is, for one, the refs deserve to get yelled at, as in my player's on this side of the court, but the ball went out over on that side of the court, and he was nowhere near being the last player who touched it, or fouling a player who's on the other end of the court where he wasn't anywhere close to that player. I will allow my players to vent and say, I was nowhere close. Why are you calling the foul on me? It was that guy. Something like that, that's totally fine, but don't be cursing at the ref. That's also not a good thing to do. And my final reason why coaches will get mad at you is if you or your parents complain that you're not starting. If you're not starting, there's probably a reason. Go up to your coach and say, why am I not starting? If he gives you a reason, use it as constructive criticism. If the coach says, you're not trying hard enough, ask him how you can try harder. Is that running in practice more? Is that maybe running a play a little bit better? Maybe you should learn the plays better. It could be a billion different things, or the coach could be an ass. You never know. But you want to be a professional and say, what can I do better to become a starter? That's a great way to start a relationship, and that might get you somewhere in the starting rotation. I've had a player who came up to me and said, I'm your 8th or 9th man. I would like to be a starter. What can I improve on to be a starter? And guess what? The last 3 games of the season, these were the playoff games, he was my starting shooting guard. He was my best defender on the court. I'm doing this because he was also a good 3-point shooter at the end as well. But anyways, I didn't want this to be a rant. I wanted this to be a learning experience for all of you basketball players out there. So if you're wondering why your coach is mad at you, it could be one of those 10 reasons. If you don't want to piss off your coach, don't do any of those 10 things. It's generally a good idea not to do these 10 things. Anyways, I hope that you have enjoyed. I hope that you have had some kind of laugh out of my tone of voice I've used in this video. If you have, hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys again tomorrow because I post new videos every single day. I got together with a trainer a few years ago, and this book absolutely works. There's tons of testimonials showing that either the player has lost weight or they have jumped huge amounts higher. So it's very inexpensive. Go check it out. Link is in the description below. Hello, so if you have liked this video, click over here to subscribe, or maybe over here, depending on which side I put it on. I don't know yet. Anyways, also the opposite direction or the opposite side is another video you may like. So I hope to see you again in one of those next videos. Yeah.